Welcome to 5-Minute Learning, where we discuss one specific topic of interest in 5 minutes or less. Today's topic is Step 2 in how to prepare for the changing workplace. The second step in preparing for the changing workplace is identifying the immediate issue. Most CEOs want to increase revenue and profits. Reducing costs often factor into this. The top two costs for most companies are personnel and real estate. Personnel costs can be as much as 70% of expenses. Almost 60% of businesses expect to expand headcount in 2015, yet 78% of CEOs are concerned about the availability of key skills. Where we work is also changing. We may not have an assigned desk or office, and even if we are not designated as a mobile worker, we certainly work mobilely. How to structure the physical office versus the virtual office is also a challenge for companies. Empty cubicle farms are costs that most companies can no longer support. These two factors contribute to the immediate issue. Today's workforce demographics are changing the nature of how we work, and technology advances are reshaping the way we work. There are 4 generations spanning the 3 defined groups in today's workforce, and that will continue for at least the next 20 years as the workforce shifts to the younger generation. Do all of these groups work the same way? No. Today's workers have different interests and priorities than the workers that are now retiring. They communicate differently, causing a challenge for businesses. Today's workers are digitally connected in ways most of us could not imagine 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago. The mobility of communication and social connectivity that keeps us accessible 24/7 has led us to a crowdsource approach in completing work assignments. With this shift, employees are looking for more social and intellectual engagement, even when working remotely, and they want more recognition of their contribution to the company. They are certainly indicating that they are not getting what they want. Boomers stayed at the same company between 9 and 15 years, but millennials change companies every 3 years or less. We do want them to change jobs approximately every 3 years because their career growth builds up the knowledge base that we're losing from retirees, but we need them to stay within our company. As the largest expense contributor to most companies, this is the immediate issue to be addressed. So companies are trying to migrate the work habits of the diminishing older workforce to align with the expectations of the newer millennials, who drive mobility and flexibility for both communication and workspace. 10,000 people per day reach retirement age in the US. That doesn't mean everyone is retiring, but it does bring to light a huge concern for companies. How can they retain knowledge? How can they make innovative leaps to keep their competitive edge if the workforce is so diverse, with half who struggle against the change and half who won't stay without it? How can they pass knowledge down if everyone works differently? This matters to us because we're already seeing the impact of the human shift. There are not enough trained professionals in the currently needed skill sets. There is a loss of knowledge through retiring employees and through employee turnover, and there is a huge cost in replacing employees. So let's put this in perspective. If the average cost to replace a professional is $250,000, and just like everyone else, 18% of the workforce is retiring in the next 5 years, then companies with 100 employees can expect a $4.5 million impact, or a $45 million impact for companies with 1,000 employees. So you have to ask yourself, do you have a plan? The immediate issue to be addressed is providing an employee environment and experience that reduces turnover and slows the retirement rate. This will lead to business results we need. Transferring knowledge that maintains or increases productivity and reducing the turnover rate to reduce the cost impact of employee turnover. Thanks for participating in today's 5-Minute Learning.